Warning, this week's episode includes the following expletives, dropping in 3, 2, 1. Hell. Damn. Shit. Asshole. Fuck. Welcome to episode 2 of Bourbon and Babies. Did you just drop the F-bomb?
I have a bit of a potty mouth, I'll admit. And my mother, when she first found out I was pregnant, one of the first things she said to me is, Lene, the first time I hear that baby drop the F-bomb, I am going to punch you in the face. Do you hear me? And I heard her. I take my mother very seriously, and if you knew her, you would too. So I did a good job, and for the first 2.5 years, my daughter didn't drop a single bad word. Until my mother came to visit one weekend. She was getting in the car, and she banged her head on the car door and said, shit. And we hear a little voice from the back of the car say, shit. And I look at my mom, and I said, Mom, remember when you told me that the first time you heard this baby say a bad word, you were going to punch me in the face? Remember that?
So, did you punch your mom in the face?
I'm Lene.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is Bourbon and Babies. Welcome back, everybody.
We are back at it. Episode number 2 in the house.
This episode is called, Did You Just Drop the F-Bomb?
Yes, the F-bomb, the ever-loved F-U-C-K word, the fornication under, was it control of the king?
What?
You never heard that before?
No.
Fuck, it's fornication under, it's either control or command of the king.
Are you kidding?
No, that's what it stands for.
Where have I been?
I
it's
have
my
no
favorite
idea.
word, and I didn't
Really?
even know what it meant.
Wow, see, this is an educational moment, everybody. Lene is learning the meaning of her favorite word on the planet Earth.
My life is complete.
Wow.
My life is complete. What are we drinking tonight?
Speaking of fuck, we are drinking a hot toddy tonight, which is a concoction of bourbon, tea. We are drinking a lemon ginger tea, honey, and some fresh lemon. It's beautiful, and as a sometimes singer, this is a great cocktail for your voice. So, yes, I'll be drinking plenty of these in the coming weeks, getting ready for my performances.
Right. And I really enjoy it, especially on really cold nights or when I'm sort of in a funk and I'm feeling not good. I might be getting a cold. I drink a hot toddy and it just knocks it out. I don't know if it's the bourbon that just kills everything.
Bourbon kills everything, yes.
Or what, but it's delicious and it seems to be the cure-all. So if you're not feeling great, make your hot toddy. And if you're feeling great,
make one anyway because they're delicious.
Or if you, anything, just make one and then you will be feeling great.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's the bourbon.
All right, so kids cussing. This is a thing, right?
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm a teacher. I hear lots of kids cussing. They don't think I hear them, but I'm always listening. Always watching, Wazowski.
You know, before we had kids, we never had to think about what it is we were saying.
No, never. You have conversations with your friends. If you want to drop a curse, you just drop that curse. You do it with gusto and you do it with full steam. You never have to worry about the little ears eavesdropping on your conversation.
And they are always eavesdropping. And some of them tend to pick it up a lot faster than others. Some people, I think, were just born cussers. Oh, like our friend. She, when she was, I don't know, 1.5 years, whatever age at which you say your first word, a year maybe, she's in the grocery store with her mom. Her mom puts her up on the counter while she's paying, and the clerk is leaning over and cooing at her. And she
look at the cute baby. It's so adorable. What's her name?
She looks right at the clerk and says, asshole.
Oh, well, look at you little sailor. Yeah, no. I mean, some people are just born to be cursors.
That's her first word, asshole. Can you imagine? Like, what does that say about you for the rest of your life? Your first word is asshole.
I don't know what mine was. Maybe chocolate.
A friend of mine's first word was sausage.
Sausage. Yeah, you know what your friend likes. Sausage.
Sausage. She likes sausage. You know, sometimes they don't really know what they're saying, though. They say these words and they don't know it. My sister, for example, so it's Christmas time and we are sitting around the tree we have the camera turned on facing our sweet little family, and my littlest sister, who's probably 3, opens up this big puffy pillow. And she squeezes it and she loves on it and she lays it down. And our little Pomeranian dog hops up on the pillow and sits her butt down on the pillow. And my sister looks over and says, shoo, shoo. And she picks up the pillow and she mushes it in her face and says, oh, this pillow smells like dog shit.
Say what?
So we all turn and look at her and go, I'm sorry. What did you say? The pillow smells like dog shit. She's saying sit.
That's the dog was sitting on.
Because the dog was sitting on the pillow.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Dog sit. We think she said shit. She didn't even. Yeah, she didn't even.
So she didn't know what she was saying. That one doesn't really count.
Okay. She didn't know what she was saying. Some people do know, but they don't realize how bad of the word it is. You know, like one of our listeners.
So one of our listeners, they're at Blockbuster. Do you guys remember Blockbuster Video? Wow, what a difference! Yeah, so Blockbuster.
Wow, what a difference!
Yeah.
Is that their title?
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference! You don't remember that?
No!
That's because I'm really freaking old.
But I do remember your brother pulled a Blockbuster card out of his wallet a few years ago.
Actually, I think that's me. It's in my
you?
drawer right there. But so they go to Blockbuster
You're
Video.
a hoarder. You really should not have that anymore.
Anyway, they go to Blockbuster Video with their daughter, and their daughter is trying to find the popcorn, and she's looking around the store. She can't find this popcorn. And she starts screaming at the top of her lungs, "Where's the porn? Where is the porn?" And which her parents are obviously mortified. Shh, no, Mommy, Daddy, where's the porn? Can you imagine this kid just screaming about porn in Blockbuster, having no idea what they're talking about?
But again, she is saying it by accident. Some kids say it and know that it's a bad word, but it's all, or maybe they don't know it's a bad word, they just know it's a word. Like
that adults use.
Right. Some of our listeners were sharing their stories, and someone mentioned that their kid came home one day from kindergarten and said, "We're working on SH sounds." And she said, "Oh, what does SH sound like?" And he said, "Shh." And she said, "What's a word that starts with the SH sound?" And he said, "Shit."
And he was right.
He was absolutely right.
100% correct. Shit does start with the SH sound.
What
well
do you
done,
do?
young man.
What do you do? I mean, do you get, okay, well, that's not a
You
word
give him
we
a cookie
say.
and you say you are correct.
It's even more impressive, though, when kids say these words in perfect context. Perfect. For example, I remember the first time I used a bad word in context, and it was at school. And I got a note home, and that note was burning a hole in my backpack on the ride home.
Did they just staple it right to your shirt?
No, they didn't staple it to the shirt.
Some teachers do that.
I get home with this letter, and I just know this is the end of my life as I know it. It's over. My mother is going to murder me. She's going to open this and hear about the bad word I said, and it's over. It's OV. So I give her the note. I'm already crying. I've been crying since I left school. Since it happened, probably. My mom opens the note, and the note reads something along the lines of, "Lene got in trouble at school today for calling one of her friends a very bad word. The word butthole is not allowed in our school.
It is not appropriate for our facility. Please clean your daughter's mouth with soap. Redirect her intentions." Yes.
My mom is thinking it's going to be a terrible word. It's going to be awful. And it's the word butthole. And she, like you, when she heard it, laughed because she realized, like, I'm thinking it's going to be like a fucking ass. Or, you know, God knows what is going to come out of this kid's mouth. No, it was the word butthole. But back then, that was the worst word I could possibly think of.
Right. You were such a sweet little kid.
I clearly was such a sweet little kid.
And some words definitely are worse than others. For example, one of our friends shared a story with us that her daughter was upset about something, sitting in the back seat, and says, "This is crap." And her husband glares at her with that "look what you did" look. And she looks back at him and says, "Don't look at me. I never say that word. When she drops the F-bomb, I'll own it." So we are going to share some stories with you that have been shared with us through our Bourbon and Babies community in order of severity. Starting with our ever-loved
Middle finger.
Middle finger. You don't even have to say it. We know what it means. The middle finger, read between the lines.
I mean, we all of us who have kids, all had that moment where our kid accidentally showed their middle finger and we were like, "Oh my God, I gotta get a picture of this. It's so funny," right?
Yeah, it's really cute. So we had her friend share a story that she's in the car with two of her two children. One is 10, one is 8. And they're driving, and a car swerves and almost hits them, ramming right into their side. And she stops over at a red light. She's obviously a little flustered. She looks back, asks the kids if they're all right. The 10-year-old, yeah, I'm fine. The 8-year-old is just completely flustered. Can't even think what to say. And it's like, Mom, that car almost hit us. She's like, yeah, but it didn't. You're all right. It's like, yeah, but it would have hit my door. I could have died. And I said, no, it's all right. You didn't. You're fine. Mommy, I really want to show him the middle finger. She says, no, it's going to be okay. I prefer you didn't do that. And as the red light changes to green, they're driving away. She checks back in her rearview mirror, and sure enough, there is her lovely little daughter showing her glorious middle finger to that car that almost hit them as they drove away.
I don't blame her.
No, I think I would have a moment of pride.
All right. I mean, if that's how you need to let out your fear and anxiety,
it could be a lot worse, right?
And she's right.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Next up is one of my personal favorites, hell. All right, so one of my sisters, I feel like I'm always talking about my sisters. I have a lot of sisters. One of them, when she was a little girl, was in the back seat, and my mom was driving her to school, but she went a different way. My sister's looking around outside and says, Mommy, where the hell are we going? And my mom goes, Baby, you can't say that word. And she says, why not? The preacher says it on Sunday. And she's right. She's right. The preacher does say it on Sunday.
Yeah, you can't fault her for logic.
Pure logic. Pure 5-year-old logic.
Next up is a story of damn.
Damn it.
Damn it. Damn it, we all love that word. And a member shares with us that when they were a child at Thanksgiving dinner surrounded by their family and loved ones, sharing the delicious meal of turkey.
Their family and loved ones.
And well, you know.
Sometimes your family's not your loved ones.
Sometimes you invite people that aren't family, that you happen to love, that don't have anywhere else to go for.
All right, you're right.
Come on,
sorry.
Renee.
I'm sorry.
I have logic behind my speaking sometimes. I'm not always full of you know what. So,
we're getting to that word next.
All the food, exactly. And turns to their grandfather and says, Grandpa, pass the damn green beans. Can you imagine if you said that at your Thanksgiving dinner?
I'd be like, get him your damn self. You know, I'm realizing as I look at this list that the further down the list we go, the more intense the words get, the more stories we have.
I know.
What's that about?
I mean, they're just more fun to say.
They are more fun to say.
I know. I enjoy the last word.
Well, okay. All right. So let's get back to the word at hand, which is shit.
The brown word, yes.
One of our Bourbon and Babies community members shared a story about her family all chopping wood one Saturday afternoon.
They were all chopping wood?
They were all chopping wood. It's
lumberjacks.
It's a family of lumberjacks.
They live in Alaska.
Maybe they do. We shouldn't laugh. All right. They have a huge pile of wood, a giant pile that they're going to have to load on this trailer. I don't know how they're getting it home. Well, evidently the little girl didn't know how either. So their 5-year-old walks over, put her hands on her hips, and with her head shaking, she goes, how are we going to get all this shit home? Her mom's like,
She's wise beyond her years. She's like a little Buddha.
We're going to load it on a trailer and take it home, but I'm glad you're concerned.
And then there's a story our community member shared with us of a time they were in the grocery store and their kid happened to wander off on them, so they figured they were going to pay him back with a little scare. I mean, that seems fair, right? So they hide behind the aisle, and as their kid's coming around the corner, they jump out and scream at them. The kid looks at them and goes, you scared the shit out of me. Yeah, I'm sure that parent ended up being more embarrassed than proud of themselves.
Right. Meanwhile, all the little old ladies are going, that kid's potty mouth. Terrible. Terrible.
Those parents are awful.
You know that word I call you sometimes?
Yes, my beloved nickname.
Asshole.
That asshole got me pregnant.
That's right.
Asshole.
All right. So, friend of ours is in the car. Someone cuts him off. They are very sensitive to the language they use in front of their child, so they just grumble a little bit. And their son says, Mommy, what's wrong? And she says, oh, he just cut me off. It's okay. And he says, hey, guy, you an asshole. Right, Mama?
Another moment of pride.
Oh, right, Mama?
Right, Mama? That kid, that means an asshole.
That's right. And I'm sure she said, That's right, baby. That's right. That's what I would say.
Or the time one of our members was taking a shower and they're washing themselves with the bar of soap and they accidentally dropped the soap and they turn to their kid who for some reason is in the bathroom with them and say, "Can you get the soap for me?" He said, "You're a grown-ass woman. You get the soap for yourself."
Where did they hear this?
I have no idea.
It's my favorite. I love that.
You're
so
a grown-ass woman. They must have heard that from Dad. And now we come to the climax of our program. Linnea, your favorite word has arrived.
Climax.
The climax. I mean, they go hand in hand. The word is...
I was like, do I also use that? Never mind. Oh, this just got weird.
Fuck.
It just got weird.
So, as you said, we have the most stories as we get further down the list. There is a plethora of fuck stories on this list. So
my favorite. I'm going to start with my favorite. Can I start?
Go.
Okay. So, one of our Bourbon and Babies listener is in the drive-thru at McDonald's, and the person on the speaker doesn't ask them if the toy should be for a boy or for a girl, and we can have like a whole conversation around if they should have toys that are specific for boys and girls another time. But anyway, she doesn't ask. And so they get up to the drive-thru, they pass the Happy Meal through the window. She passes it back to her daughter. And as they are pulling away from the window, her daughter yells, "Hey, I'm not a fucking boy!"
Awesome.
What's your favorite?
My favorite fuck story is two dear friends of ours who were unfortunately having a quarrel. And their son...
Like you do.
Like you do. Married people do these things. And their son decided to mediate. So he's drawing this lovely picture of their family. So and he interrupts them. I know. And says, "Mommy, Daddy, look, I drew a picture of our family." Like, "That's nice." Like, no, look. Here's Mommy. Here's Daddy. Here's me. And I even drew the fucking cats.
Were they having an argument about the fucking cats?
I hope not, but the fucking cats.
It's fucking cats. That's what I mean. I refer to our zoo all the time as the fucking zoo.
Yeah, I think that would have ended our quarrel right there because we'd be laughing so hard about our fucking cats.
So what they realized in this story is that that's how they refer to their cats all the time, and they didn't realize that they said it out loud.
Or that their son picked up on it.
And evidently that's what he thought their names were, the fucking cats.
Always listening.
Another listener shared that they were at Thunder Over Louisville, which if you have not been to Louisville, which is where we live.
Best fireworks show in the world.
It is pretty incredible. I'm told it's the largest fireworks show in North America, actually. And it's incredible. So come visit sometime and check out Thunder Over Louisville. So this listener's at Thunder Over Louisville with their family, and the fireworks start, and the mom leans forward, and her son says, "For fuck's sake, Mom, move your head. I'm missing the best part."
Now, another one of our friends, they were with their kids getting ready for school. They're leaving the house, and they get across the street to wait for the bus, and their daughter turns and says, "Oh, I forgot my fucking backpack."
Perfect context.
Perfect context. You know, so proud.
Oh, man. And our last fuck story.
The last fuck?
The last fuck. He is in the bathroom with his son, who's in the bathtub. He's sitting there, and his son's glasses are across the room. And his son says, "Dad, will you pass me my fucking glasses?" The dad turns slowly and looks at him and says, "What did you just say?" And the kid, looking abashed, puts his head down and says, "Sorry, will you pass me my fucking glasses, please?"
And that makes everything better.
That makes everything better.
Please?
Use the magic word. Fuck.
Please.
Here's the thing. Cussing happens.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you do a pretty good job of not cursing in front of your kids, which I think we do a pretty good job.
We're decent.
It doesn't mean that everyone around you is always going to do a perfect job. And in fact, we have a lot of friends who, when they're around, they don't even try. Some friends try, others don't. But no. I can't really hold it against them because the reality is I want us to be able to have authentic interactions with each other and not constantly be stifled worrying about what little ears are around.
Right. So what do you do? I mean, how do you deal with it when your kids inevitably start dropping these words that they hear in adult conversations? One of our good friends has a transitioning method, and her 1.5-year-old, well, then 1.5-year-old, starts saying shit. Which is, in my opinion, kind of adorable. I mean, if you met this kid, her saying shit is probably the cutest version of shit you've ever heard.
She makes shit cute.
Yeah, she sure does. But they were able to transition it to shoot, right? But then she started dropping the F word.
Why was she dropping the F word? They don't seem like they would say the F word.
Well, her husband evidently would stub his toe pretty often, and when he did, he would scream the F word. But then when he heard his daughter repeating the F word, he made it more of like a fuck under his breath, just the low growly. So then one day our friend, she dropped something. It made this huge loud sound on the floor, to which her daughter replied, exactly the same way as Dad did. So they were able to...
like father, like daughter.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful lifelike stories. But they were able to transition that fuck to fudge, and then eventually phooey.
Fudge,
phooey. Yeah, it's not as much fun to say. But then they said recently she has been saying, what the hell? Which I'm not sure if they've actually corrected her or not, because they said it's kind of cute. They said the other day they were out and they saw Comfy Cow, one of our local ice cream shops, and the daughter wanted ice cream. And she was like, can we go to Comfy Cow? And they're like, where is it? Playing the dumb we don't see it game. And they walk a little closer, and she's like, right there. And like, I still don't see it. And then they get right next to the door where any idiot would have seen the ice cream shop. They say, I don't know where it is. She goes, what the hell? It's right there. Of course, right in front of about 3 other families enjoying their ice cream very pleasantly, but they all got their ice cream. It was a win for everybody.
Oh, man. So, I mean, transitioning is, I think, a practical thing to do if you really don't want your kid yelling cuss words in public. But we also have some friends who feel like cussing at home is cool.
It's fine.
I mean, not cool, but like fine with their family. One of our friends explains she doesn't have a huge problem with her kids exclaiming cuss words when they stub their toe or drop something at home. She would rather focus her attention and energy on making sure that they never direct that kind of language at people or say mean things like you're fat or stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I think that's a good rule if that's what you want to do at home. Now, kids tend to say these words in public, which tends to embarrass us. But if you're doing it in the confines of your own home, why not? I know celebrity Chris Pratt shared a story on one of those late night programs of how he and his son, they like to go fishing, right? Father and son bonding experiment.
Are you going to take our son fishing?
I don't fish.
Have you ever been fishing?
Yes, I've been fishing. I'm not very good at it. but Chris Pratt, who is so much cooler than myself, takes his son fishing.
I mean, he is pretty hot.
Yeah, I know. I'm told I look like him a lot. Anyway, their rule is that while they are out fishing, they are able to use whatever words they want, including cuss words. While they're out, they catch this monster fish, and they're posing for a picture for documentation, right, for posterity. And the spine of the fish, the spines just kind of like cut his son's finger, and he's totally upset, and he's crying. He starts screaming at this fish. He's really mad. And Chris Pratt's shocked that he's not using any expletives. There's no curse words because he is allowed to use these words. And he says to his son, is there anything else you want to say? He looks at the fish. He goes, you're fucking pussy. You are a fucking pussy fish. Which is a little extreme to call a fish. But you know what?
Did he learn that? Never mind.
It is his rule that he can say whatever he wants when they're fishing. And they were fishing, so it was okay.
It sort of feels like you might have egged him on a little bit.
Maybe.
Did he want him to say?
I don't know. Maybe he's just curious to see what came out of his mouth.
Well, he found out, didn't he?
Yeah. Man, that kid.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, here's our theory on cussing. And, obviously, to each his own. Everything works for different things for different people, right? Different strokes for different folks. Our thing is, and what we tell our daughter is, adults can do things kids can't do. Like drive cars.
Right.
We can drive a car, you can't drive a car. We can say the F word, you can't say the F word. Adults can cuss and kids can't. So
we can drink bourbon and you cannot drink bourbon.
No. We can do things because we are adults. You can hear things, but you know when you hear them that you are not to say them. And she does know, because there have been many a time where we've been with friends and someone has dropped a word that they're not supposed to say, and she'll sort of side-eye me a little bit.
Right,
like,
and our friends are always like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
And we say, no, it's fine. She knows.
She knows.
And she sort of looks like, I know. Now, She's only 6, so God knows what's going to start coming out of her mouth soon.
God only knows.
It could be that this is absolutely the wrong way to go.
Right, she's just building up an arsenal of expletives.
It's all going to come out at one
They're
time.
just going to spew out.
God.
One day she can get
Like
really
The
mad at
Exorcist.
school, and that note that you got home from your mom,
It will not say
It's
butthole.
not going to say butthole. It will not say butthole. It's going to be something a whole lot worse than butthole.
To each his own, right? Parenting, it's your prerogative. You're the parent.
You are the parent. Do whatever the fuck you want.
That's fucking right. Hell yeah, your damn self fucking do it. Do that
Lene,
shit.
you're getting really carried away with this MA rating for this episode.
This is going to be my favorite episode.
Right. I think the next one will be family friendly.
Okay, fine.
Shit.
All right. Drink y'all's bourbon. We'll see you next week.
Next week on Bourbon and Babies will be our You Drive Me Crazy episode.
That's right. What does your baby, toddler, teenager do that drives you absolutely crazy?
You drive me crazy!
You could not resist, could you?
Britney, baby.
All right. Find us on Facebook and Instagram and share your stories there at Bourbon and Babies Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, give us a great rating, and share it with your friends.
Share it with everyone, including Britney Spears. See you next time.